Hello everyone, ConfusedOwl29 here, and I've been going through a lot of crazy stuff in my personal life, so I thought I would take some time to get away from that and focus on the crazy stuff that's going on in the rest of the world. So, today we're going to be going over the 2020 US presidential race. And we are going to be putting all of these candidates on a tier list. So we're going to be going over who's the best and who's the worst. But first I want to give a little disclaimer that these are just my personal opinions. You don't have to take them too seriously. My opinions on things change quite a lot. So just take it with a grain of salt if you want. And yeah, let's just get into it. So, starting out, we have this guy, Mr. Bennett. And I'm gonna be real with you guys, I have no clue who this guy is. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add another row, and we're going to call it Whomst. And I'm going to put the people that I don't know anything about in the Whomst category. So, yeah, that's where Mr. Bennett goes. And next up we have Joe Biden. Now, Biden, oh boy. I'm pretty sure people only like him because he was vice president for 8 years with Obama. Because on his own, I think people would kind of just dismiss him as like a crazy old loon. He seems a bit, well, maybe his mind is a little bit on the old side, I would say. He probably has dementia, actually.
I was a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Yeah, we're gonna, should I put him in Scheisse tier or D tier? Because he's not my top pick. I guess we'll go with D tier. I can move him later if I want. Next up we have Booker, Cory Booker, who I think dropped out, but I kind of like him. I don't know a whole lot about him, but just from what I've seen of him on the debate stage and stuff, he seems like a cool guy. I think he said that he lives in a low-income neighborhood, which is pretty cool for a politician, because normally they kind of live apart from the rest of the lowly people. So, I don't know, I just get good vibes from him. So, B tier. Not great vibes, but good vibes. Don't know who Bullock is. And now we have the infamous, I don't know how his name is pronounced, but I'll call him Peanut Butter Judge. So, Peanut Butter Judge, I do not care for this man. I've done a little bit of research on his record as mayor of South Bend, Indiana, and he does not seem like a genuine person to me. He seems to be motivated by a little thing called money and power, and I do not respect that. I do not vibe with that. I do not vibe with the stuff he did as mayor of South Bend. I basically just do not vibe with Peanut Butter Judge. And I would say I vibe with him even less than I do with Joe Biden. So we will put him in Scheisse tier. And next up we have Julian Castro. And I don't know how I feel about him, honestly. He didn't make much of an impression on me. Yeah, he didn't make much of an impression on me. I don't really remember what he stands for or anything. I know he spoke Spanish at one of the debates, and that was cool, I guess. C tier. De Blasio. I don't know a lot about Mr. de Blasio. I don't even know his first name. But I did see him in one of the debates, and I don't remember much of what he said. I'm kind of tempted to just put him in the whomst category, which I think I shall do. Oh. Next we have John Delaney. Where are my Delaniacs at? Not only do I think John Delaney deserves to be in S tier and deserves to be president, he deserves better than S tier, and he deserves better than president. I want John Delaney to be dictator for life. Hashtag dabbing for Delaney. It's only 1 in 1,000 years that you get such a man with energy, charisma, passion, good looks. Like, are you not turned on by this guy's looks? It only happens once in a lifetime that you get a man so perfect. And I will stop at nothing to make this man dictator of the world for life. Hashtag Delaniacs. Alright. So I think we can all agree that he deserves to be dictator for life. Next we have Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard, I like her quite a bit. I think she has some good policies. She seems to be pretty anti-establishment, which is pretty cool, pretty epic. Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about her because she's not been on the debate stage recently. She only made it to like the first 2 or 3, I think. But still, I think she's a good candidate, and I would support her in a general election. And I will put her in A tier. Alright. I don't know whomst Mrs. Gillibrand is. Alrighty, next up we have Mrs. Kamala Harris, and she... I don't know what I think of her. She seemed a little bit incoherent when she was on the debate stage. I know she dropped out at some point. I think she was actually one of the first ones to drop out. But, I don't know. I guess I never had that much of an opinion on her. So, I'll just put her in C tier. I guess she had kind of an epic moment where she owned Joe Biden with that sort of a dramatic thing where that girl was me. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. I'll play a clip of it.
You know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
NANI?
But, yeah, that was pretty epic. So, yeah. Hickenlooper, that's quite a name. I know he legalized weed in Colorado or something, but I don't know anything else about him. C tier, I guess? I don't know. Jay Inslee, Governor of Washington State. Mr. Defeat climate change. That was sort of like his one thing. And, you know, defeating climate change is pretty cool, pretty epic, but I think there's more issues than just climate change to talk about and stuff. So, I wouldn't say he's like the best candidate, but he's okay. And, well, I'll put him in C for climate change. And then Klobuchar. I don't care for Klobuchar, honestly. I've heard some pretty negative things about her. I've heard that she throws binders at people who work for her, which is definitely not something I vibe with. I think she would fail a vibe check if I were to give her one. So, oh, and also she, like, imprisoned some innocent guy who, well, supposedly innocent. I don't know the whole story. I just heard she did some shady stuff. So, I'm thinking D tier or Scheisse tier. Not sure. I'll just put her in Scheisse tier because her voice is really annoying. Okay. I don't know who Messam is. I don't know who Moulton is. I barely know anything about O'Rourke. I know he also spoke Spanish in one of the debates, and I guess that was cool. I don't really have much of an opinion on him. C tier, I guess? I don't know. Just not many thoughts on him. Next up we have, I think it's Tim Ryan, and I don't know, something about this guy I do not vibe with. I don't like the way he sounds. It's hard to explain. He just seems so generic, you know? Like, it doesn't seem like he actually feels passionate about what he's doing at all, whatsoever. So, I'm kind of glad he dropped out. We'll put him with Bitey Boy. Next up, we have Bernie Sanders. So, Sanders, out of all these people, is probably my number 2 choice. Well, number 3 if you include Delaney. I'll get to my number 2 choice in a bit. Yeah, so I really like Sanders. He just seems so genuine, like he cares about what he does. You just feel like he actually has principles and he's honest, just not the politician stereotype you're used to, I think. So, I think he's pretty cool, pretty epic, and yeah, I'll put him in S for Sanders, and also S for socialism. Okay, C-Stack, or Cestic. I've never seen this man in my life. Swalwell. I've also never seen this man in my entire life. He goes in the Whomst category. And now, we have Elizabeth Warren. So, I have a lot of mixed feelings about Warren, actually. So my theory on Warren is that she was created in a laboratory back in 2017 after the big Trump election. And I think she was made to be a person that would appeal equally to Hillary Clinton voters and Bernie Sanders voters. So she would sort of be in between those two. And I think in the process she kind of failed at appealing to either one of them. So, I don't know. I mean, her policies aren't that bad, but after what she did to Bernie Sanders in, I can't remember which debate it was, but she basically called him a liar, and then she was like, then she got all mad when Bernie Sanders actually defended himself.
I think you called me a liar on national TV.
Not cool, not good, not epic. She kind of failed the vibe check there, but still, her policies are pretty solid, so I'm going to put her in B tier. And Marianne Williamson. So, when we found out that Marianne Williamson was running for president, I think all of us had the same question. Why is the local palm healer running for president? I really don't know how she ended up in the place where this self-help lady was running for president of the United States. But I honestly don't know much about what kind of policies she was in favor of. I know she wanted reparations, which was pretty epic, but I don't know much about her besides that. So I guess I'll just put her in C tier. But yeah, she just doesn't seem like the presidential type, you know? Just my personal opinion, but that's the vibe I'm getting from her. And now we get to my second choice for president. I love you, Delaney. My second choice for president, Andrew Yang. And he dropped out, I think, this week. And that was pretty sad. Can we all get an F in the chat for Andrew Yang? I've been part of the Yang gang since summer, and I really liked being part of the excitement and stuff. He just seems sort of like Sanders. He's a really genuine guy, really passionate, and believes what he's saying. I feel like the one reason I like him a little bit better than Sanders is I feel like Yang has just put more thought into his plans, and I think his policies are just a little bit more well thought out and comprehensive. I like both of these guys a lot, but I just like Yang a little bit better. My camera cut off at one point. I don't know how much you heard about me talking about Mr. Yang, but I was just talking about how he was my number one choice, or number two. Sorry, Delaney. My number two choice for president, and that I was really looking forward to him being president because his plan, if you guys don't know, was to give every American $1,000 a month with this thing called Universal Basic Income. And I was pretty excited to get my $1,000 a month when I turned 18, because I would be 18 during his presidency if he were elected. But that didn't really turn out, so I might have to wait to ever get my $1,000 a month. But yeah, he just had a really cool campaign, so yeah. Sorry, Yang Gang, but he dropped out. Okay, but I'm now part of the Sanders squad, and he's our best bet. Assuming we don't get Delaney for dictator, but, you know, Sanders is a good second choice. Alrighty. And now we have the Republicans. So, I'm just going to go ahead and say I know nothing about Mr. Weld. He seems a little bit sketch just by looking at him, but, you know, can't judge a book by its cover. And then we have Donald Trump. Oh boy. No matter what I say about him, I'm sure people are going to be mad about it. So, Donald Trump, he's a little bit of a fascist, let's be honest. But if I'm being 100% honest, he didn't do as bad as you might have thought. Like, I figured he might have started a new war, which he kind of almost did with Iran and all that, but, you know, he didn't start a war, so that was pretty cool. And I'm going to put him in D tier. And the reason I'm putting him in D tier and not Scheisse tier is one thing I was really happy about that he did during his presidency was him talking with Kim Jong-un from North Korea and sort of getting that country to chill a little bit was, I think it kind of saved us just a little bit, because those North Koreans, I think they kind of respect the chaotic energy that emanates from Trump. The sort of, I would put him as chaotic evil in a, or maybe even chaotic neutral in a D&D alignment chart, but just that pure chaotic energy coming from this man, I think the North Koreans respect it, and I think that's why they probably decided not to nuke us this past 4 years. But yeah, I did appreciate that he did open up a dialogue with them, but other than that, Donald Trump, pretty crappy president, kind of racist. Well, I don't know if he's racist, but he's anti-immigrantist, at least. And, you know, that stuff about him thinking his daughter was hot, pretty weird. I don't think he would pass a vibe check if I were to give him one, but that's just my thoughts. So, yeah. This is my final tier list for the 2020 presidential race. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this tier list. Do you think I'm totally wrong? Let me know if you are also a Delaney-iac who supports him being dictator for life. Let me know if you think I should have put one of these in a different place. Feel free to give me some information. It's like if one of my high-tier candidates was like, oh, they murdered someone back in the day. Don't you know that, Thomas? And then I'll be like, oh, okay. I can actually move them down to this area. But yeah. That's about it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't get too angry in those comments. And remember, before you judge a man, walk a mile in his shoes. And if you've done that, just forget about that man, because you're a mile away from him and you have his shoes. Goodbye, everyone.